What is up, everybody? It's Ford Tech Steve, and as you can probably guess from that little intro, we're working on the 5-liter that came out of the Explorer, and this is part 2 of the Explorer slash Ranger engine build, or engine swap. So this is the 5-liter that we took out of that's going to be in the Ranger. So we're tearing it down today, see if we can figure out what kind of condition it's really in, and hopefully minimal machine work. I was thinking about doing a stroker kit on this, but I think we might be changing our mind just looking at the cost effectiveness of it. I think we might kind of turn this into a budget build and skip the stroker kit part of it. So we were going to do a 347 originally, kind of talked myself out of that, started to think about doing like a 331. Now I think we might just be going to oversized pistons, do a 306 type build, so we'll see about that. So I went ahead, took all the accessories off of it, got the wiring harness out of there. These valve covers, they're shot. I think we're going to find something different, so we'll see what we can do there. Just got done taking the exhaust manifolds off. Looks like we actually had a broken bolt here on cylinder number 1. That's actually the only one that looks like it had any kind of exhaust leak at all on it. So again, this valve cover is just as ugly as the other one. I think we'll be getting rid of these. We'll find something nice. So I did take the valve cover off the other day just to kind of see what we were looking at. And really it doesn't look terrible in here. Obviously everything's kind of dark. I'm assuming a lot of that's because of the fact that it's just a cast block. So the heads are cast, the engine's cast, everything's cast iron. So we're going to see what we can do there. I'm going to go ahead and get these like mouse house, squirrel house stuff out of here. We've got some little nutshells and stuff in there. Not that I'm worried about cleanliness, because I think either way this is going to go to the machine shop. And it's just a matter of getting it to the point where I don't really feel bad dropping it off there, and they'll be able to get the big cleaning off of it. I still think we're going to do aluminum cylinder heads on this engine. One thing that I want to compare today is to make sure that these bolt holes actually match up with what an aluminum cylinder head is, because I'd like to still use the factory accessory drive. I'd like to make everything look factory if I can. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this valve cover off. Like I said, I think we'll find something a little nicer for this thing. Maybe with a little less rust. Not seeing anything out of the abnormal there, so we'll go ahead and get ready to take that intake out. All right, we're going to go ahead and take these bolts out. That one might have some rust in it. Yep, it's already popped like it's ready to come off. All right, it did break. I'm not surprised. I'm not using these heads. That one did not break. Oh yeah, it's ready to come off. Need to get that out of there. Obviously these hoses will get replaced. I'm just trying to take everything off as in big of pieces as I can. All right, lower intake is out. Things are a little crusty in there, but really not that bad. I think a lot of that dirt and debris is actually just from taking that intake off. We'll get you in here in a second. So, really not much in the way of sludge. It looks like didn't really have a bunch of stuff piled up in there. But we're gonna go ahead and pop these rockers out of here. And again, I'm not worried about trying to save any of this stuff, so I'm not worried about taking it off in any specific order. I'm just gonna run through with the impact, drive these out of there, and then we'll get ready to move on to the next one. All right, we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this cylinder head. Yes, I'm using an impact. Everything in here is looking pretty clean. A little bit of carbon buildup on the piston, but nothing crazy. We'll be spinning this thing over too and seeing how the rest of the piston or the cylinders look. But I'm not seeing like these are oversized or anything like that, so everything looks good there. It looks like everything is original, which is good. That's what I want to see. I want to see a virgin block that we can actually do some machining to. All right, so the bank 2 side is looking just as good as bank 1. So I think we're in good shape there. A little bit of dirt got into that one. I think an intake valve was open when I was moving that stuff around. But we'll take another look at the rest of these cylinder walls once we move that, get that crank spun around a little bit. So I went and spun these cylinders around, and man, these cylinder walls actually look really, really good. So I almost, if it wasn't for wanting to clean up the rest of this, I would almost consider just slapping a set of heads on this and putting it in the Ranger. But that's not the plan. We gotta do it a little bit better than that, and make it as cool as it can be before it goes into that truck. Give you a little quick look at these cylinder heads. They're actually looking pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of carbon buildup in there, but like I said before, this thing ran just fine. The rest of the Explorer was trash. It was all rusted out, so not worth fixing. Although I did think about it at one point, but this is what we bought it for. We bought it for the engine, bought it for the wiring harness and all that stuff to basically be able to just throw this right into that Ranger. All right, so it is time. We are going to go ahead and pull this pan off, get a quick look at all the bearings and everything in there, see what kind of condition they are in, and let's get to work on those. Alright, so it's a little gummy down here. Honestly, I expected it to be worse. But I'm not seeing anything crazy, scary or anything in there. Not seeing a bunch of play in any of those. One thing I do want to do to this engine, I want to ditch the timing chain. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to one of those noisy gear sets. I think that'd be kind of a cool little upgrade to do to this thing. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop one of these main caps off and probably one of these rod caps off, just to give it a quick little once over. See if there had ever been any issues with oil starvation or anything like that. I highly doubt it with whatever else I'm seeing on this engine. Everything else seems like it's been in pretty good shape. Obviously, some of the things it'll definitely be getting, it'll definitely be getting a new oil pump. I'm not seeing anything in that pickup tube at all. So that's in good condition. We'll give everything just a once over. And I think once we get to the point where this is ready to go back together, it might get a little strengthening girdle in there. And I don't really see any other reason to do anything else major in here. Everything looks pretty nice. All right, let's pop a rod cap off. All right, so these could probably use a little refreshing. We are getting into some of the copper material in there, especially right there. So if we're going to do anything, it makes sense to at least take this thing in, get the machining done, and get some new bearings put in. And I mean, this thing had, I think, 160,000 miles on it, so I'm not sad about having to take it to the machine shop either way. But I think this will be a good little candidate to turn into a V8 for a Ranger, either way. All right, and the verdict is these actually look better than the main caps. Crank looks good. Seeing a little bit right there in the center. I totally expect that out of something that has 160 some thousand miles on it. So I think we are going to be in good shape. All right, so that's going to do it for our teardown today. We are in a position where I just need to get in touch with a machine shop, figure out what kind of condition they want the engine in for me to send it to them. I don't think we're going to do a stroker kit at this point. I think probably just do some new pistons, new bearings throughout the engine. I know I'm going to put some kind of cam in it. I want to be able to hear it, have it be a little bit of a rough idle, but I don't want anything crazy. And then I do definitely want to put a noisy gear set in this. I think that'd be just something kind of cool to do. It's nothing crazy. I know it'll make a little bit more noise, but I think that'll kind of turn some heads, especially in something like a Ranger. People are going to be like, well, what in the world's that noise? But we'll see what happens. For now, I'm going to say thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for our third video, which will probably be hopefully talking to a machine shop, or at least maybe it's a planning video, see exactly what we're going to actually do with this engine. But thanks for watching, like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.